Welcome to a new video about local server synchronization by Pipeline Pro. Today we're going to talk about the Kraken server features for file management, some configurations related to working path transcoding, the new functionality to force downloads from a specific date, and the inclusion and exclusion criteria when managing files in a production environment. Great! We have Kraken server inside the pipeline section of a project, and we have this panel. In this panel, we can visualize the file size that this project is taking up. We also have the working path where the project is configured, and here we can edit it if we have the proper permissions. And we can generate new tokens. Here we can force downloads by date, which we'll see now. Here we can capture the token to integrate it. And here we have a set of working options. First of all, we have Kraken. If we log out, we have two options: access with username and password, or as a server version. In this case, we're going to take this token here and use it to establish the connection. And we connect. And now we have our Kraken connected. By default, Kraken server is responsible for placing all the material uploaded by users to the cloud system into the correct location. This is downloaded to the local server, allowing all co-producers who need that file to work to stay synchronized. For example, we have a task with a series of images, and I'm going to upload an additional image, in this case a PNG, and we drag it here. We'll see that in real time. Once the file is ready, Kraken receives the download order and downloads it to the working path. Where? In N empty, and from there, it builds a naming convention and places it in its correct location, specifically in its corresponding folder. And we can see that it has applied the naming convention correctly. This happens because we are connected with a standard token without any additional configuration. Now we can perform a series of operations so that this connection, which is normally download only, can do more things. For example, this task we have here, in addition to the images we had uploaded before, also had additional images, right? Since Kraken server was activated after these images were already available, they were not downloaded. We can force their download. We go to the destination folder where they should be placed and tell it, hey, force the download of all the material. It says there are 3 files available for download from that date, and we indicate which token we want. Normally, we'll use the Office one, and we force the download. Then it receives the download order and downloads them here. And from there, it will continue with the real-time process. So this is useful in cases where the Kraken server has been temporarily paused, or the machine has been restarted, or whatever the case may be, it can recover past tasks and catch up with the server status. All right, now we can define some rules. For example, if we deleted all the files, we could tell it to only include PNG files in the inclusion list of files to operate on. We specify that we only want PNG files. If we now force the download, we'll see that it doesn't download all files. It only downloads those that match the expression. In the same way, we can do the opposite. We can define an exclusion pattern. Hey, don't download PNG files. And in that way, it will download all the material that is not within the expression, all right? If we download them, we'll see that it only downloads the JPG. This allows us, for example, to exclude working progress files, because we know that within the naming convention /w, there will be a working path for working files, since it will search across the entire working path. And if, for example, we type R, it won't download working progress files, because they are contained within R files, nor will it download revisions. It will only download final material. This way, we can ensure that deliveries contain only final assets within the project. Additionally, we have a very interesting field for download transcoding. For example, let's change the working token to connect with a different token. Now we would be connecting with the France token, and we are telling it that the path we have above should be replaced by this other one. In this way, we are forcing the download path on the destination machine to go to a different path. So if I now say, hey, download material for France, we'll see that the download process will not go to the empty folder, which is the project root, but to another one that we will be working with. This is important because in many cases, the destination server performing the download is a Linux server. And in those contexts, we often use Unix syntax when working with storage systems. Therefore, users accessing via Windows Desktop or Active Directory can use their N drive, but we can also access mounted drives at a lower level. This is much more optimal in Linux environments, and this is Kraken Server. It's a piece of code that greatly helps with maintaining a local copy of the entire project and taking advantage of cloud-based workflows. Thank you very much.